Hi, everyone. I am sorry I am a little late. I had some technical difficulties. I am using a new platform to me. I'm on this platform with Brian on the Black and White show. However, this is the first time on this show using this platform. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Quest show. Let me just set everything up. I'm trying to pull myself together right now. Yeah, I am together. I think I am. Anyway, welcome. Welcome to the Quest show. I am here. Still having some technical difficulties, everyone. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. Let's start all over. You can tell I haven't been here in a couple of weeks. All right. Welcome to the Quest Show. I am here. I have some notes. We're going to get through this very quickly, per usual, because it's Thursday night football, and I'm sure you guys have a lot to do. A lot of things happened this week, and I wasn't here last week. So we will jump on those things as well. I hope everyone had a good holiday. How are you guys doing out there? You doing okay? Yeah? I mean, it's a little stressful out here. People are just not nice anymore. I don't know what's going on, but people aren't nice. And it seems like it's getting worse the closer it comes to the holiday. Maybe it's the closer it's coming to the elections. Either way, it's tough out there. So anyway, let's start. I'm going to gradually get myself in order because again, new platform. I was late, haven't been on, so I'm trying to pull myself together. Hi, Artie. Wow, I haven't seen you in so long. Where have you been and how was your holiday? I hope good. And it seems like the next holiday is right around the corner in a couple of weeks. Crazy. But let's get on what has been happening this week. I don't even know where to start. Let's start with the wannabe dictator. Let's do that. Actually, we shouldn't even call him a wannabe dictator because if Trump becomes president, he is going to be a dictator, like he told us. So apparently, Donald Trump was on Sean Hannity's show, whatever that was. I don't watch Fox News, so I don't know what Sean Hannity's show is called, which is interesting to me, right? Because these two people know they don't like each other. Um, we saw Sean Hannity's emails when Fox News was being sued for that for lying on what is that the voting machine people, and I could swear that some of those emails had like Sean Hannity um, talking about Trump, like he doesn't like the guy, but apparently it pulls ratings, so it doesn't matter whether you like him or not, you want to pull the ratings. So he was talking to Donald Trump. He threw him the softball as he always does, right? Sean Hannity will do that, right? He kind of knows, like, let me throw him a softball so he can, do the right answer and won't answer this question wrong because they know what they want him to clarify. So, he asked him, I don't know the exact wording of what the question was, but it was basically like, if elected president, will you be a goddamn fascist dictator, right? Like, of course, those wasn't his words, but basically that's what he was asking him. What does Trump say? Only on day one. That's it. Just day one. He's telling us, like, Donald Trump, he's been telling us. He's been telling us since like he announced that he was running again, what he was going to do. I'm pretty sure he told us during his last presidency that he wanted to be a dictator. Wasn't that the whole purpose of J6, right? Like he just wanted to stay. He wanted to be a dictator. He wanted to oversee the DOJ, but he just couldn't quite get that title, because although we hate the GOP and we hate what they represent, um, there were some guardrails kind of in place where it just didn't go crazy, right? Bill Barr was an asshole, but there was only so far he would go. I mean, the bridge that was too far was really far away, but there were certain things that he was like, yeah, okay, I'm out. This is too much, right? So there were people, General Kelly, like that was just like, okay, yeah, this is too much, right? But there were guardrails that were kind of in place. So he couldn't quite get to the dictatorship, or as George Santos would say, he couldn't quite be dictator-ish. But he tried it, right? He was almost there, but this time, um, he's definitely going to do what he's saying, because he's a man on a mission. I mean, he popped up and said retribution. Well, what else could that mean other than retribution? If Trump is saying that he literally wants to jail his enemies, he did that to Cohen. Of course he's gonna do, like, I don't know why the media, and don't get me wrong, they need to continue to report on this and hammer this one home, because people do need to hear it. I suppose the people who are still undecided, like, who are y'all? They still need to know the craziness that he's saying. And I guess the hope is that if more people hear him talking like this, the suburban women, I guess they'll be like, you know what? He's up to the same stuff. I'm not going to vote for him. I don't know, but I guess this is something that needs to be reported on. But again, where's the surprise? Because everything he says, he's saying it because only a dictator would do it. And the crazy thing is, when he said only on day one, his sycophants are in the audience like, yeah, they're excited about it. Like, what people where who are under a dictator are the people just like, whoo, I'm so happy that we have this dictator. Like, who said that? Because once a dictator is in place, you're not going to be very happy. That's what's so bizarre and crazy about this. I mean, it's a cult, so I guess if you think in cult terms, I guess it makes sense. But like, it's so bizarre. Like, ooh, yes, he's gonna be a dictator. He's gonna take all of the money, and we're all going to be poor, and just the people who are, working in Trump's government, because he's going to get rid of, if you're a Democrat, he's going to try to get rid of all of the norms. If Trump is elected, we may not even have a two-party system anymore. It just may be like just Trump, right? Like, it may be just like a monarchy or something. He's just going to be the king. Like, he's going to try. They're going to have to drag him out of the White House dead, like his dead body, because he's never going to leave. Because you better believe at this moment, he is plotting and planning what he's going to do. The last time, he got caught off guard because he didn't think he was going to win. This time, he is desperate to win. He has to win. So he is going to have a plan just in case he wins, because he needs it so bad. Why do we think MAGA Mike went to Mar-a-Lago? Like, for the Trump steaks or the Trump water? No. MAGA Mike is the one who helped plan the last attempted coup, the insurrection. So, of course, that guy is going to meet with Trump so that they can plan what they need to plan. Just all of them, excuse me. It's very dry in here. So they're planning now. And I will go as far as to say that I'm pretty sure that these people are also planning um his whole cabinet, right? Like they're gonna have a list of people, yes men, like the people who are willing to push the line, the people who are willing to do the illegal stuff. That's gonna my pillow guy is gonna have an office in the West Wing. He'll probably get Herschel Walker and Dr. Oz back. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's gonna be like the head of some department, maybe the Civil Rights Department. Just kidding. But that's how it's going to be. And that's why everyone is silent right now. Trump can, like he said, he can go and shoot someone on whatever street. It doesn't even have to be whatever he said, 7th Ave or whatever, 21st Street. It doesn't have to be. It can be anywhere. He can do it anywhere. Republicans won't say a word. They don't care because all they care about is I may have a job for a president. I may get to work out of the White House. Look at Kash Patel and Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon's crazy podcast. He's like, yeah, Kash, you're going to be like the head of the CIA. And what are you going to do first? Like these people are actually planning what they're going to do next. So we really, I've spent too much time on this, but it's crazy, but it is happening. And it's crazy that we have to keep saying that this is happening, but we have to keep saying it because people fall asleep and they forget how dangerous Donald Trump is because we spend so much time laughing at him and going, oh, no, it's just really, it's serious. So that happened this week. What else happened this week? Oh, was that last week? See, when you're not on every week, you get them confused. Whatever the case is, George Anthony DeVolder Santos was expelled from Congress. He didn't leave with any dignity. He left in a huff. He was pissed off. He did all that begging. He got on the floor and said, it's a travesty of justice if you expel me and just I haven't been convicted of a crime, just all the crazy stuff. So they took this vote because the ethics report came out, and the ethics report had some pretty interesting things that George Anthony DeVolder Santos was doing with campaign money. Botox, among the other stuff. I mean, I wonder if Clarence Thomas was doing Botox with the money he got from Crow. Didn't look like it. Anyway, so yeah, Santos, Botox, the luxury trips. What else was he doing? I think he was gambling. He's watching porn. Yeah, he was all over the place. So, and that's interesting too, because the Republicans finally it was bipartisan vote to expel him. I guess they're just tired of the nonsense, and they're going to be down a seat, and that's a seat that we have a good chance of picking up. So they were sick of him anyway. His constituents, they didn't like him since they found out that he lied about who he was. So by George Anthony DeVolder Santos. And also, there's been a lot going on in Congress, right? McCarthy has stepped down. By McCarthy. So I guess they're saying that he probably felt a little funny there with MAGA Mike being the speaker. Like McCarthy really didn't have a place anymore. He's like a senior congressman there with no power, right? Just nothing. You got MAGA Mike with all the power. So, people will ask McCarthy something and it's like, oh, right, let me ask MAGA Mike there. So, yeah, he left with his tail between his legs because he's a nobody. And this is all his doing. So, by McCarthy. So, that is another seat. So, that was a shakeup in the Congress. They are still working on getting money to Ukraine. Um, these people don't care about national security. Apparently, they act like they care about national security, but how do you care about national security when you support a guy that had top secret documents in his bathroom, top secret documents uh, in between his golf shirts and his laundry, was showing off top secret documents to his friends and like laughing about it. Then you have Tuberville, who held up all of those military promotions for almost a year, all to say, "Ah, okay, whatever, I don't care, go on, promote them." Yeah. And then, but the top ones, I think there's like a dozen, almost a dozen of those. He's still blocking those. Like, why? There's no end game. So you put our security at risk, and there's not even an end game. You just do it just because, well, my MAGA constituents, they eat this stuff up, so I have to do what they want me to do, even if it means putting our national security at risk and making it vulnerable. They don't care, right? Like, they don't care. Funding Ukraine, they don't want to fund Ukraine. Like, it's like they don't understand, and a lot of people don't understand. Like, why are we giving our money to Ukraine when we have things here? And I get that, right? Because that makes sense. Like, why are we sending our money here and there? Well, one, we're not the only ones who's doing it, and two, there's a specific reason for it. Because if we don't help Ukraine, and Putin is allowed to just walk in and do what he wants and take control, then where do we think he's going next? Poland, one of our allies in NATO? Then what? Then we have to go in. That's going to cost us more if we have to help our allies in NATO defend from Putin, because we have to do that because we are a part of NATO. So it's going to cost even more. So, like, this is politics. It's just politics. Like, you, and it's interesting because I believe Republicans, they gotta know that it's got to be done, but they have to wait until the very last minute and put up the fight and do all the other nonsense and the stunts and shows, so that again, MAGA Republicans think that they're fighting for them. It's just a weird thing. So that is going on too. There's some other stuff that was happening this week. Oh, Hunter Biden. So that's interesting too. Hunter Biden wants to, well, he got a subpoena and he wants to honor the subpoena. He wants to testify publicly. Comer said, "What you mean public? You mean like so people can actually hear and we can't make the stuff up? That kind of public?" Hunter's like, "Yeah, public." Comer's like, "No, we have to do this. Is going behind closed doors. You don't get to choose." And now they're saying he's in contempt because, if he doesn't comply with our subpoena, then he's in contempt. What? He said, "Yeah, public." Like, you see how Republicans are? It's just so crazy. It's just like, uh, it's frustrating to talk about, but we have to talk about because it is what it is. But it really is frustrating because, one, who the fuck cares? Hunter Biden, like, what he's doing? We already know there's no connection. They've been looking for a connection for so long and it's still nothing. I'm so glad that Hunter's like, "I want to testify publicly." Pretty sure the MAGAs want to see this testimony public too. But Comer's like, "No," because they don't have anything. They just need it behind doors so they can come out and pretend like he was hiding information. And then also this week, they had a got you moment. Comer had a got you moment. Comer got on TV and he was like, "Releasing bank statements. We have released the bank statements and we have found 3 payments to Joe Biden in an amount of $1,300 each." There's a there. There's a there. It's criminal. It's criminal. $3,900. It's criminal. What is it? It's got to be fentanyl. It's got to be drugs. Like, okay, what is this? It's got to be criminal. Like, what? This is a criminal enterprise. The son 3 checks, $1,300 to his dad. That's criminal. Then come to find out, excuse me? Hunter Biden was paying back a loan to his dad. His dad paid for a truck for him, a Ford Raptor. He's just paying him back. Wow. I didn't even know kids paid their debt back to their parents. Kudos to you, Joe Biden, because your son is paying you back. So, yay. Just another nothing. It's just another nothing. Oh, wait. Did I mention it was in 2018? Oh, I didn't mention it was 2018. Yeah, it happened in 2018. Biden wasn't the president. Biden wasn't the vice president. He's a private citizen. So as a private citizen, his son paid him back for a loan. End of story. This is what you wanted, right? This is what you wanted. Our tax dollars just been to good use, right? This is good use, isn't it? Isn't it? That's what we wanted. What a way to fight inflation, Republicans. Hunter Biden. What a way. Maybe Hunter Biden and his laptop somewhere you can find, a cure for these diseases. Maybe something. Do something good. Okay, what else happened? Some other things happened. Don't want to get to that. Oh, let's talk about. Let me get some water for this one. Mr. and Mrs. Ziegler. Let's talk about those folks. So, Florida GOP chief officer, Mr. Ziegler, I forgot his first name. I really don't care about his first name. I really don't care about any of their names. To me, it's like Republicans, but his name is Ziegler. Last name is Ziegler. Has been accused of rape by a woman. Apparently, Mr. Ziegler, the woman, and Mrs. Ziegler had been having a relationship, three-way relationship. I don't know what you call that, swinging, whatever they were doing. Is it swinging? No, maybe not swinging. Anyway, three-way relationship. Mrs. Ziegler, Mr. Ziegler, and this woman, right? So I guess they had set up a time for them all to get together. I guess that time Mrs. Ziegler wasn't there. So the woman's like, hey, I only wanted to do it because your wife is going to be here. It's just you. So she didn't want to do it. I guess he wasn't good with that and went to her house and allegedly raped her. I do believe there's a recording of her 911 call to the police, and she called one of her friends immediately because she was distraught. Did I mention that the Zieglers are very good friends to Ron DeSantis, and even more, 9 tax crimes, Hunter Biden. Again, we already know Hunter Biden has some issues, right? I guess the optics for his dad, but again, Donald Trump, 91 charges. Like, I can't even, what is this? 9 tax crimes. Look at his taxes. Jesus Christ. Anyway, the Zieglers are Ron DeSantis's friends. So Ron DeSantis is friends with Ziegler and Mrs. Ziegler, Bridget Ziegler. You know who else Bridget Ziegler is? She is the co-founder of Moms for Liberty. Do you know who the Moms for Liberty is? Moms for Liberty. Those are the parents that are running around saying parental rights, ban these books, ban Little Mermaid. She was the one where Ron DeSantis was signing his Don't Say Gay bill. She was the one in the back going, whoo, yes, yes, yes. Forget those gays. Yes, no gays. That's Bridget Ziegler. That is the one that was mixed up in this three-way triangle with her husband and this other woman. Okay? Hey, people can do whatever they want in their bedrooms. If they want to have threesomes, who cares? This wouldn't be a story, right? This is not a story. Well, it is a story because Mr. Ziegler is accused of rape. So that part is a story. But the threesome thing should not be a story. But it is a story because Bridget Ziegler and the rest of these fake Christians are running around here talking about don't say gay. You're trans kids, they're awful, you're mutilating children, homosexuals, gay flag, the gay flag on in the stores is making my kids gay, like all of the nonsense. Get rid of this book. It has two boys kissing. Like, however, Bridget Ziegler is in a whole entanglement with another woman and her husband, but then has the nerve to be running around talking about don't say gay. Well, what is this that she's doing? This is it's not bad, but it's the hypocrisy, right? These people act like they're just pristine, just don't do anything. And in a whole relationship with your husband who's with another woman that you're also with. You can't make this up. Like, it's just that's the frustrating part. It's like all of them. Oh, Democrats are pedophiles and grooming kids, and every other day it's conservative police officer, conservative bishop, somebody conservative in the church that is sexually assaulting some child, some little girl, some little boy. That is what they do, is they're the king and queens of projection. Everything that they do, they're saying somebody else is doing, and they say that so that they take this smoke. It's like smoke and mirrors, right? If I'm saying that you're doing it, it's almost like you ever have, when you're young, and women will know this, and their boyfriends are cheating on them, right? We always knew when he was cheating because that's when he started accusing you of cheating. Where you been? What you doing? Right? When he's the one doing it, he's trying to take the smoke off of him by accusing you of it. That's the Republicans through and through. Don't say gay while she's out here having a relationship with a woman. Go figure. Go figure that one out. So, and Ron DeSantis had I forgot what position he put her in, but now I think he's trying to backtrack this relationship that he has with these people and try to distance himself from them. So that's pretty interesting, Mr. and Mrs. Ziegler. We'll see how that turns out, but the bigger picture is there is a rape involved. So if he did that, there's definitely going to be a problem. And it's crazy because these three people, this wasn't a new relationship. They have been doing what they've been doing for 3 years. 3 years. They've all been whatever this relationship is. They're probably taking advantage of this woman, because I did hear that she had some emotional and mental issues. So that's that story. That story kind of it tickled me because it's just like just a hypocrisy. But it's crazy because normal people see the hypocrisy. MAGA voters, they never they just don't see it. Like they'll never see that, or they'll just be like, lie. I don't want to hear the truth. They'll say lie and then block their ears, or don't want to read it if like you tweet about it and you like post the article. It's like no, they're gone. They don't want the truth. They rebuke the truth. Let's see what else happened this week. I know a couple of other things happened. Oh, I did want to talk about Kate Cox. What time is it? 30. Thanks, Artie, for rocking with me. Hey, Michelle. Yes, Michelle, I am on. I know I'm like on, not on. You never know. I am that Hunter Biden thing is gonna drive me crazy because now that's just gonna be the news cycle just for the well, you know what? It's Thursday, so maybe we only have to deal with this news cycle until tomorrow, and then it'll be done and we don't have to deal with it anymore. So hopefully that's the thing. So let's talk about Kate Cox real quick. Sorry. Kate Cox is a Texas woman, and I know there's some updated news on her, but I do want to go back a little bit on her story. So, Kate Cox is a Texas woman. Her and her husband have two children right now. One is 3 and one is 1.5. They were excited to hear that they were expecting and having another baby. Very excited because she wants a big family. She went to her GYN appointment maybe a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure, but it wasn't too long ago, and found out that her fetus has a fatal anomaly. I forgot what it's called, but basically, the baby will not live longer than a week once it's born, uh, if that, because it may not even make it to that. Not only does it have the fatal anomaly, it has other medical conditions that are very major. It has an irregular skull, a twisted spine, an irregular heart. So it's the fetus isn't doing well. It is not thriving. And not only is it not thriving, the longer that Kate Cox carries this fetus, she is 20 weeks pregnant right now, and the longer she carries this fetus, the sicker she's getting. She's been to the emergency room 4 times because she's getting sick from this fetus. And her doctors who want to do something cannot do anything to help her because the fetus has a heartbeat, and Texas changed their laws. So there is no abortion um, in Texas. So the doctors cannot do anything because, again, the baby's not dead inside of her, right? So that's basically, again, the choices that they told her. Her doctors had to tell her this. It's like under the Texas law, either you have to wait until this fetus dies inside of you, then we can take it out via C-section, or you have to wait until you go into labor and deliver or deliver via C-section again a stillborn, or deliver a child that is going to die pretty much immediately thereafter. And again, this woman has two children already, one 3, one 1.5, and she very much wanted another one, even though the first two deliveries were very difficult for her, and she had C-sections with those two people. I've never had a C-section. However, I've heard about C-sections, and those things, they're tough on the body, right? Like, she's already had two. So then you're saying that you got to cut into this woman again for her to deliver a baby that's not going to live. It's just insane. So what she did was, her and the Texas Reproductive Center filed a suit on her and her husband's behalf, an emergency suit. And it was heard today. So Tuesday they filed the suit. It was heard today. Again, she's 20 weeks. So time is a ticking with her. And not only is time ticking, just stop for a minute and think about the emotions that she must have. One, She's a mom. She's got a 3-year-old and a 1.5-year-old that she has to take care of, right? Her and her husband have to take care of that. But she's also pregnant with a fetus that she knows she's never going to be able to love and care for because it's going to die. But she's being forced to carry a fetus that's going to die, that's in her belly, that's going to die. So you got those emotions, but then you have to love up on the children that are alive. This is Texas, right? This is what they want women to go through because she's not the first. So they heard her case today, had to go in front of a judge, tell the judge she wants to have children. And if she continues with this pregnancy that is making her sick every single day and that may take her ability away because she may get scar tissue and everything else that will render her infertile and she won't be able to have children again. So she has to outline all this in front of a judge. This is where we are. This is 2023. In 2023, women are going to judges to beg to have a medical procedure for themselves. Unheard of. A judge is making a decision for this woman and her family, her very life, the life of her children, the life of her husband. From this day forward, how those people operate was up to that judge. If the judge said no, that's how her future would go. Like that judge would control her future. Whether she carries a dead body, a dead fetus, whether she loses the ability to become pregnant again because she was made to, it's all in the judge's hands, not her doctors and not hers. A fucking judge. That's unbelievable that is where we are today. And if Republicans know, we don't know if this woman is a Democrat. We don't know if she's a Republican. Who cares? She's a pregnant woman who has an issue with her body and she can't even make a decision of the health care that she wants. We don't know her political leaning. Why does that matter? We know Republicans and Democrats, just regular people, have abortions because abortions is medical care. Someone said today, I read, they were like, since when do they do abortions to deal with fetal abnormalities? I'm like, what you talking about? It's because an abortion is a medical procedure. It is just a name for a procedure. So people are so stuck with abortion, dead baby, abortion, dead baby, and they forget that it's a medical procedure. So anyway, thank goodness the judge said, we're going to put a temporary restraining order on Texas's policy so that this woman's doctors can perform the abortion, because the judge is saying, I see that you want children, and I also see that if you carry this fetus to term, you may not ever be able to have children again, and this fetus is going to die. So at least the judge. It was, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but it was a female judge. I don't know what would have happened if it was a male judge. I don't know, right? But Texas is going to appeal this, right? We know Texas is going to appeal. She's already in 20 weeks. This is the issue, right? So what happens when Texas appeals and then it goes back? We're talking about another 2 weeks. So now she's 22 weeks. So now it's 2 more weeks of her. She's already been to the emergency room 4 times because she's getting sicker the longer she carries this fetus in her body. Wait for it to die? Like, I see people writing that on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. What do you mean? You can't carry I'm not a coffin. Just carry a fetus until it just dies, and then I just have the toxins of, let me tell you, I don't know which baby it was, but the tissue, fetal tissue, is very toxic. So even when women miscarry, everything needs to be expelled. It's toxic. I remember when one of my children were born, and they have to get the afterbirth out. If you don't have any children, you're not going to understand what's going on. It's the what the baby is in while it's in your uterus, right? Got to get the afterbirth out. It had broken, and the doctor didn't know that it had broken off. This is some of the tissues and stuff is the afterbirth. Immediately I was like, I don't feel good. Like, I didn't feel good. I was cold, but I was sweating. I had the chills. I couldn't stop shaking. It's like I was going into toxic shock, right? I had already given birth to a healthy baby, but I still had afterbirth inside of my body, and this shit is poisonous. So I can't even imagine being made to continue a pregnancy and then let the fetus at whatever weeks of term it's at just die, and then we'll take it out. We'll schedule you. Don't you worry. Go home, get some rest, put your feet up. It died. It's not, no heartbeat, no nothing, no kicks, no nothing. I'll call doctor, see what he can do tomorrow. Like, are y'all joking? It's just awful. But I'm happy for Kate Cox. This is one step in the right direction. At least the judge did make the right decision. And again, this is just for her case. This is just a temporary stay on that policy, just for her, just so she can get the abortion that she needs. So if there are other women out here, you got to go through the same process. Everyone doesn't have the money. This isn't free, right? You had to file a lawsuit. You have to get attorneys. Attorneys are not going to be able to do all of this work for free. Do you know how many women are going to start coming down the pipeline with the same issue? Because this is a common issue. These things happen. So they're just going to be, and not only that, imagine you're sent home to wait until you miscarry or whatever, and you have people in the street going, hey, what do you do? Nobody thinks about any of this. Republicans are just like, pro-birth, have the baby. You're killing babies. Like, it's so, but that's just how they operate. They're not smart. Like, it's part, they don't give a fuck, and they just the power and the red meat but they're just not smart either. They just do things, and they just don't understand repercussions of the things that they do. They just don't think. It's the same as when Comer is going, whoa, 3 payments of $1,300 that Hunter Biden made to his to Joseph Biden. There's crime here. It's a criminal enterprise, $3,900. And then it's like you find out it's in 2018, but you have them going all over talking about it's, what Hunter did was wrong because he was, in the White House, and he wasn't in the White House in 2018. Biden wasn't in the White House in 2018. They're not smart. But what they're banking on is that their supporters are even more dumb than they are. That's what they're banking on. So there's that. Let's jump on this last one real quick. Or two more things, actually. Owen Benjamin, real quick. Let's talk about Owen Benjamin. Did you guys hear Owen Benjamin? Yeah, exactly. They're punishing him because they can't get his dad. And it's like they're really punishing him, right, Michelle? Like, it's like, yeah, I can't get to you. I can't touch you. So I'm just gonna abuse the closest thing to you. I'm just gonna abuse the heck out of him. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. But I'm glad that Hunter is kind of getting on well, he was getting on the offense, but now, as Artie said, he's being charged with some type of tax situation. So I guess he's not on the offense anymore. I don't know about the traveling out of state for the medical care, and maybe that would have been her last resort, Artie, right? Because it didn't get that far because they went straight into suing, because remember, she does have two other small children. So I'm not certain how that's working. What is the closest state when she's in Texas to her? I don't know, right? I don't know. And she shouldn't have to. And that's the other piece. No one should have to do that. And is Texas one of those states when they try to charge or they try to you get in trouble if you travel to another state, or if they find out about it? I don't know. There's so many crazy laws on the book. Can't she even do that anymore? Like, especially if they know. I don't know. I really don't know. But it seems like she could have, but it may be them just wanting to stay in Texas, and that probably would have been the absolute last resort. But that's traumatizing, because remember, the other woman had a similar situation. I don't recall her name. They were traveling out of state. They had to stop at a hotel. I can't remember the state, but it was far, and they were driving, and they stopped at a hotel, and she miscarried in the bathroom of the hotel with her kids in the other room. Women shouldn't have to go through this. Women should not have to travel, because your body is stressed enough, and then to have to travel in that condition is even worse, because you got to remember, she keeps getting sicker. She's been going to the emergency room. So now you're kind of terrified to get on the road when you have this situation inside of you that's making you really sick. So that's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard. But let's talk about Owen Benjamin. Do you guys know who Owen Benjamin is? I didn't know who Owen Benjamin was, but apparently he is a conservative, non-funny comedian. I would imagine that every conservative comedian is just not funny because they're just not funny. I heard one laughing at Mr. Pelosi being hit with a hammer, like, just that wasn't funny. Like, it's just not funny. But anyway, Owen Benjamin is a conservative comedian. Apparently he was on something. I don't know. I don't pay attention to these people. I don't know their comings and goings, but it was on video, and someone asked him how to solve the abortion issue. And he said, "Oh, that's a funny debate. I know how. I'd buy black babies, and then I'll have them work on my property." I'm gonna have some water while y'all let that sink in. Yeah, I'll buy black babies and I will have them work on my property, aka plantation. That's a funny debate. It's so funny. Owen Benjamin, you are hilarious with the slave jokes. Ain't he funny, y'all? Ain't he funny? Because he said, hey, black ladies, you gonna kill them? Wouldn't you rather them be enslaved than dead? Huh? Wouldn't you rather that, black ladies? So now slavery jokes are funny. Apparently. Just really hilarious. Um, Newsflash, Owen Benjamin. Enslavement was so bad that Africans would rather die than be enslaved. A whole slew of them during the Middle Passage, whole families would just jump off the ships. They would run into burning buildings. That's what they would rather do than be enslaved. Because contrary to what you say or Ron DeSantis says, hey, you got some great skills there. You got some skills you took from slavery. So contrary to that, enslavement wasn't a picnic, right? It just wasn't. So it's nothing to joke about. Enslaved women were raped. Enslaved children were raped. Women and children were raped in front of their menfolk. Women were raped in front of their husbands by their masters. Children were raped in front of their mothers. They sold humans. They put them on the block, in chains, and they started bidding, checking their teeth. They were property. So to make a joke about I'll buy them and they can work on my property, the black babies, it's funny you didn't say anything about the white women. White women don't have abortions, Owen Benjamin? Huh? You didn't say take the white babies and, buy them and put them to work. You said the black babies. So racism is just funny. It's just ha ha. Because they're just saying it like they don't care anymore. But that's okay because we have to continue to check it. We're not going to let that slide, Owen Benjamin. I mean, I guess he's some irrelevant comedian. So he probably figured if I say the most outrageous thing, maybe I can be relevant. Yeah, so now you're relevant. You're known as the racist guy. Wear it like a badge of honor. Yeah, Owen Benjamin. I had never heard of him either. Oh, do you know Owen Benjamin? Yeah, it was really that bad. It was really that bad. Like I don't why would you say that about black? It's the same as, you have the racist trolls on social media and the only thing that they say is black people commit all the crime and it's like but that's not true. And you know it's not true. Like how do you forget black people commit all the crime? Come on. Stop playing right now. You know better. Because I just saw a mass shooting. I don't think that guy was Black. Like, stop playing right now. Like, really look at the statistics. And that's not neither here nor there. And the last thing I did want to talk about is today I got called out, not today, this week. I wrote a great tweet in closing. It was a good tweet. The tweet was about racism, of course. And it was talking about how, someone said to me, I was talking about Black history, right? That Black history is American history and it should be taught in schools. And when you exclude it from schools, you're excluding culture from the Black children, right? And someone pops up and they're like, let kids be kids. Let kids be kids. You're separating, you're dividing. No, I'm not. Because I literally wrote then, I would love for Black kids to just be kids. I would love for Black kids to be able to go outside with a toy gun and not be gunned down within seconds like Tamir Rice. I would love for Black kids to be able to go to the store and buy some Skittles and some sweet tea and walk back home and a great neighborhood that maybe their stepdad is in or something like that, or dad, without being racially profiled and shot. I would love for Black kids to be kids and to be able to be out and have a lemonade stand without Karen calling the cops on them. I would love for Black kids to be kids and be able to go and look at nature, right? In the trees and figure out a way to like kill like the whatever the lantern flies that were killing the trees without a racist neighbor saying, hey, there's a strange woman outside doing something strange and calling the cops. Yes, I would love for Black kids to be kids and be able to drive in the car without us having to have the talk with them to say, hey, if a cop stops you, put your hands here, make sure that you keep your registration here, make sure, like with all these fucking rules and regulations. I would love for Black kids to be able to be just fucking kids so I could just be a fucking parent and not someone who has to do security checks, who have to tell my kids, you have to behave like this, you have to do this if you want to survive in this world. So if my kids can't be kids, that means I can't be a regular parent. I have to be a fucking helicopter parent so that I protect them from all these fucking nuts that are out here. I would love for my Black kids to just be Black kids or just to be kids. Now, I guess I struck a nerve with that's a Black man. Yeah, go figure. You would have thought it would have been a racist. No, this is a Black man. He made a whole video about that tweet because he was upset because he said that there is no racism and that I was being hyperbolic. Well, I don't understand. I'm just minding my business. My point is, I guess, there are jerks everywhere. They're not just white racists. You have Black MAGAs who are just as cruel, who are just as messed up in the head as white MAGAs, right? Because white supremacy doesn't know a color. Like we say white supremacy, but there are Black people who support it, right? I don't know if they know that they support it, but they support it because it's like they want to be part of the, I don't know, maybe that's the in crowd, right? The crowd that you think has the money. They reign supreme. So that's where you want to be. So you're there caping for white supremacy. That's like the Ben Carsons, um, uh, Justice Thomas, like all of them are all in with it. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's just really crazy right now. People are picking sides. People are not nice. Because all I did, again, mind my business, write my tweet. I get called black racist, CUNT, uneducated bitch. And he called me an older woman, which I mean, yeah, I am, but Jesus, you have to say that. But I don't know, guys. Anyway, be nice to people. Just be nice. Like we don't all have to agree, but we don't have to always be so aggressive and fight each other. And I guess sometimes, like, with some people, you're not going to change their mind. It doesn't even make sense. So I just, I myself have to learn to ignore a lot of stuff. I am working on that. But I am going to end the show because it has been an hour. I do want to say at the top of the new year, I am going to start doing a series of interviews with some candidates. I have one scheduled for January 4th. So I am excited for the new year because I'm going to get myself in order and start interviewing some candidates for you guys to see what they're out here talking about, what their policies are, how local government is really being run, and their ideas on local government, and all of that good stuff. So, guys, have a good weekend. I hope that I am back next week. I think I will be here next week. I swear. I'm going to do good. I'm going to come next week and I'm going to do a show. So have a good night. Thank you, Artie. Thank you, Artie. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. I appreciate you all. I will be here next week. Yeah, women can't take a joke. Sure, sure. All right. Bye, guys.